Heroes. Heroes just for one day. Welcome to So to Speak. My name is Lyle,
My name's Evan.
and we are joined with our guest Cody.
Yeah.
And we're gonna.
I'm back again from the 90s. You guys keep dragging me back from the 1990s.
At what point are we going to make this guy a co-host?
I was just about to say that. Cody, you're more than welcome to join us. You can't.
Hey, no, no, it's your show.
Oh, it's both our shows. It's our shows. It's everything.
Yeah.
It's your show. I just like to come on and say my thing and then move on back to the 90s, because this era in the 2020s is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty rough so far.
I had a thought before pressing the button. What if we called this podcast Corona Radio? You know, like, cause Rage Against the Machine had Guerrilla Radio, so what if we had Corona Radio?
Yeah.
Lights out, Corona Radio. Vaccinate that shit.
Cough that shit out.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is do another bracket tournament where we basically compile a bunch of our personal heroes. I believe the criteria was like we picked one favorite filmmaker of ours, one favorite actor, and one favorite musician. And my picks are as follows.
Okay, we got
Steven Spielberg, director of such classics as Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Duel.
we're gonna be here all fucking day if we talk about this guy's
Yeah.
filmography.
Let me just say this before we move on. I saw Duel for the first time this year. Holy fuck, what a suspenseful movie.
It was a good movie for like a first-time director.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Like, it's filmed incredibly well.
Have you guys seen all 32 of his movies?
No.
No, I'm a Spielberg nut.
Uh,
I don't even think I own like at least 10 of his movies. I need to watch more Spielberg.
You're a third of the way there.
Yeah, I'm a third of the way there.
I've seen everything from Duel to I guess at this point it would be Ready Player One. Yeah.
Ready Player One or Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Crazy. And next on my list is Sting.
Gordon P. Sumner.
Gordon P. Sumner, who was the lead singer and bassist for the 70s rock band The Police.
Yes, he was in a band called The Police.
Yes, he was. It's just a
Evan.
stage name.
We're just gonna make
Evan.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put on the red light.
Oh, fuck off.
But you should send SOS to the world.
That's it. I prefer to do that. Yeah.
Put on the red light.
And my
Right.
is
Damn.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, funny guy. Tom Hanks. Everything he says is a bit.
Yeah. Guys, lovely soul. Got COVID and lived, so that's one highlight of 2020.
Yeah, that's quite heroic indeed.
Yeah, and what's really heroic about this guy is not only did he survive getting COVID, like in his early 60s, he donated his blood plasma to contributing towards medicine against the disease. That's awesome.
Create a vaccine, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Alright, I guess I'll go through mine. I got Quentin Tarantino.
Nice one of you there, Lyle.
Yeah.
Everyone always says it. I did used to have a soul patch when I was in high school. I think I was like imitating him.
Believe it, yo. He did.
Yeah, I totally did. Yeah.
Let me tell you what like a version's about.
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, alright? I'm the one who buys it. I know how good it is.
I wonder how Quentin Tarantino would talk if he murmured every other word.
What do you mean murmured? Like, I need coffee.
Oh.
I'm the one with the.
Yeah.
I know how good it is. What do you mean murmur?
Like, I don't know, what if he talked like this and almost like down?
Like
All I know is that when Bonnie goes shopping, she buys shit.
When I buy my coffee, I like to spring for the good stuff.
Yeah.
When I drink it, I like to taste it. So yeah, Tarantino's filmography: Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, the Kill Bill series, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight. He actually hasn't made as many movies as like Spielberg.
Spielberg has made 9 feature. No, sorry.
Tarantino's
Tarantino.
made 9 features.
Tarantino has made 9 films, and apparently his 10th one's going to be his last.
His very last. So unlike Spielberg, who's been pumping out like his entire career, Tarantino's made quite a few, but at the same time, they've all been consistently great. So that
he is probably the most successful filmmaker of our generation because
I would agree with that.
he sells
Successful,
movies based on his name and his style. People go to see his films because of him. And all of his films have either been, despite Hateful Eight kind of getting a little snubbed by The Force Awakens just because of bad timing back then, all of his films have been financial successes, and critics and audiences fucking love him.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty commendable.
Yeah, I would say so. That's why I picked him for this list. My next pick is Mr. Kirk.
Bring your friends, oh no, I do.
And I'm yelling, and I'm screaming, and I don't know what I'm singing.
It's hard to bargle nargles out all these marbles in my mouth. See, Kirk, that's a guy who every time he sings, half of it is mumbling.
Yeah.
So that fits better to the criteria than Tarantino. Yeah, Kurt Donald Cobain, co-founder, lead singer, and guitarist of Nirvana, probably my favorite band.
And they
Influential rock musician.
I'm nowhere near the Nirvana expert that you and Cody are, but they had 3 albums in their time, right?
Three
Yep.
studio albums, yeah.
3 studio and 1 EP, right?
I don't know about an EP.
No, 3
albums.
studio albums. Yeah, 3 studio albums and 1 live MTV Unplugged.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a comp album called Incesticide too. That counts.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably the most influential alternative rock musician, especially of the '90s. Created an entire wave of grunge music and spoke to a generation. All that jazz. I could wax on and on. Left this world tragically early.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Left a legacy we can only imagine.
He died during a year where movies were actually incredible.
You know, it's kind of funny. This Kurt Cobain died the exact same year as my other person, John Candy.
No shit. 1994.
1994.
Oh yeah, 94. Yeah.
Wow.
94 is like the best and worst. Let's be honest.
A fun fact: he's your hero, but ask my dad about the house he built for John Candy in Nova Scotia.
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
he built a house for John Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John Candy, Canadian legend, SCTV alumni.
Also, former president of our school that the 3 of us went to was John Candy's manager, Rick Bennett.
Rick Bennett was his manager, and I got to meet him personally. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Rick Bennett was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Huge contributor to a lot of John Hughes' best work. I think he was also like the manager of I think there's some sports. I think it was actually just like a stadium that he owned. Actually, I think he organized some sort of sports thing. I can't put.
There's
my
another
finger
fun
on
fact about John Candy you told me the other day that I want to kind of get on here. Where it's like
he was the co-owner of the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League from 1991 until his death.
Oh, 6. So he co-owned the Argos.
Yeah, he co-owned the Argonauts.
Nice.
Yes.
What's that fun fact you were telling me about how on the set of Home Alone, like, you know how John Hughes...
Oh, yeah. I was watching a documentary on Home Alone, and, like, he was put on... Okay, so John Hughes was super anal-orientated about the script. He didn't want anyone, like, ad-libbing or adding anything to his script. But when John Candy came on for the one day he was shooting, John Hughes was like, just let him ad-lib, let him play. Because he was playing along with Catherine O'Hara, who was also an SCTV star. So they were like, they always juice up and do really good stuff together. And then, so he worked for 23 hours straight on that one day of a shoot, basically his entire run of the movie. And he did it as a favor. So the pizza delivery kid who was in the movie actually got paid more than John Candy did for the entire run of his movie, despite the star.
That's funny.
Polka, 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 polka.
Oh, we left our son in a mortuary, but you know he was all right. I mean, after like 7 weeks, he was all right.
He improv
He
all
made all that
That's
up,
so
and it
great.
was brilliant. I think that this shot's from Uncle Buck, which is another classic John Candy. Not my absolute favorite. I think that's designated for his role as Del Griffith in Planes.
Oh yeah, planes, trains, and
I
automobiles.
love
Yeah,
him in that role. That's so
that's
good.
probably him at his most iconic. Absolutely, but my favorite role of him is Barf from Spaceballs.
He's great in Spaceballs too.
That's your favorite role of his?
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because he's a mug, half man, half dog.
I'm my own best friend.
Yeah.
What's your name? Barf. Your full name? Bartholomew.
That's
The way he says it with such like confidence, like a hero.
Holy shit! They went.
Well, that's why he's on here. He is a hero. That's why he's on here, because he is a hero. So
I need to see Canadian Bacon, Michael Moore's comedy.
Yeah, he's good in that too.
Yeah.
Okay, but moving on to Cody.
Canadian director. So yes, my Canadian director, Denis Villeneuve, director of such hits as Prisoners, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Incendies, the upcoming Dune film, which we were supposed to see 2 weeks ago, but until COVID fucked up everything.
God damn it. Probably one of the hardest working people right now in the Hollywood.
You know, he's great.
Very.
He makes films that are very bleak but also hopeful at the same time. The themes he likes to explore are very fascinating and very very personal to him. He inspires me. He makes me confident that the movies that I want to make one day will be a reality.
That's sweet.
That's really nice.
I think honestly him and Spielberg and Fincher are like my top, and I guess Tarantino. So this is actually a pretty good night that we're talking about similar people. All these people here we're talking tonight are great. So.
Oh yeah.
And then my musician is a man by the name of Justin Vernon, but as his stage name goes, is Bon Iver.
All right.
He's a folk musician, but now has moved on to a lot more electronic stuff, and he's a very heavily collaborator. He's done hit songs such as Skinny Love, Holocene, and Hey Ma. I love his music. I know if anyone's watching me right now, you're going to be like, wow, you are such a hipster because of the glasses and your indie fucking music, but I don't care. Music is music, and to him, music is an expression, and there's no one out there that has a falsetto, what's the word? Falsetto? Yeah, falsetto, and a falsetto and also baritone voice like he does, and how he combines folk and electronic sometimes is very unique, and I challenge anyone out there to tell me if anyone's like him. So he's a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And last but not least, go ahead.
It's all right. It's fine. I was just saying that, I just started. Out of all the people here, he's probably the one I'm the least familiar with, but I did listen to some of his work before we started, and yeah, he's very good. You can tell he's an indie artist.
It's definitely an acquired listen. Like when I first heard him, like I couldn't get into it, but that's because you gotta kind of have to be in this kind of like isolated, kind of like weird mood to kind of get into it, because his songs are so kind of deep and his chord progressions are always kind of, I wouldn't say progressive, but they're a lot different. He doesn't follow like a structure per se, but yeah, it's an acquired taste, like fine wine. And then last but not least is good old Jim Carrey.
Oh.
The stars of such hit comedies as Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and also his dramatic roles like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and The Truman Show.
I saw both of those for the first time in 2020 as well.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Say last year. It's not 2020.
Last year, oh yeah. Happy New Year.
Frickin' January.
Yeah.
Uh, but also just a quick shout out. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like I know that. I mean, I know 1994 was kind of a sad year, as we mentioned, because of two of your heroes passed away. But for him, it was kind of his breakout year because he had three big hit films that put him on the map in that year
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, and
It's
like
pretty crazy.
for Tarantino, that was the year he released Pulp Fiction and made a real name for himself. So
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said before, 1994 was an amazing year for film.
1990s, baby. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
But right before 1994, he was on that Fox show In Living Color, which is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh yeah.
It's all sketch comedies from the Wayans brothers, and it's a very politically incorrect and hilarious show. It's kind of the precursor to Chappelle Show and Key and Peele, like that kind of stuff, where they just take the African American culture and just completely blow it up with exaggeration.
Yeah.
But Jim Carrey's on there, and he's like a standout in that show. He's actually known as James Carrey back then.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I watched that show when I was younger. It was always on Comedy Central. I really
It's
liked that show.
Yeah.
it's pretty, and yeah, but Jim Carrey, he's been a lifelong like hero of mine. I love him so much. He makes
Did
me
you
laugh.
see Did you see
Yeah.
him play Joe Biden on the recent like post-election?
Yeah.
It sucks that
He
he's
was
not
pretty
coming
good.
back for that either.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very like in and out with the roles he wants to take. He's very just kind of does his own thing at this point. He's very meditation heavy and like
Yeah.
believes that there's he believes that there's a higher being in life than just being famous, and he's kind of stepped away from the spotlight
Yeah.
recently. But it's
did you see that video of his where he's like in his painting studio and he's kind of just like painting like all these canvases and crafting sculptures by himself?
I didn't see that particular video, but I am aware that he is a painter, and he's done apparently like cartoons
Yeah.
by
I can
himself.
see him
but,
being a cartoonist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally.
Oh yeah, I mean he has like a rubber face, and he's very energetic and cartoony. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt weird watching that video because I haven't seen Jim Carrey in a long, long time, and seeing him kind of act a little bit isolated and weird. It gave me kind of like Orson Welles vibes, like near the end of his life, where he just kind of lived in a shed that his friends owned. He just didn't really have much to do with himself. So I don't know. I got a little worried when I saw that, but I think he's doing better now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's got his head on his shoulders. He takes his mental health seriously. He's not, he's pretty passionate. Yeah, and that's kind of the mark for a lot of comedians too. Like, they use comedy as a mechanism to make them feel better, and yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We shall start with this tournament. We got a bracket.
All right, here we go.
Here. So the first.
This is the most
on list-
bizarre tournament. This is the most bizarre tournament ever, but it's gonna be fun.
All right, yeah, let's have some fun with it. So first up, are you ready, Cody? Are you ready, Evan?
Yes.
Quentin
Yes,
Tarantino versus Steven Spielberg.
And what is
Oh.
Let's see what they're gonna do against each other.
what are they competing for?
So we have a list of competitions or personality traits that each one could have. We have to debate. Okay, so Quentin Tarantino and Steven Spielberg. Out of the two of them, who is the bigger philanthropist?
I'm gonna say Steven Spielberg because in my completely biased opinion, because Steven Spielberg has basically made entire movies dedicated to like other minorities. Like he made Schindler's List to basically get comfortable with the fact that he was Jewish. He is Jewish, and that being a Jew is part of his heritage because he grew up in the post-World War II, 1950s, Arizona, and at the time, like, you'd think in a post-Holocaust world that Jews would get a little more respect, but no, like, anti-Semitism was quite the problem in North America and Europe for many, many years after, so...
Okay.
But and in addition to that, I know that after the big earthquake in Haiti in 2009, 2010, he gave a lot of money to the victims there, so... So there's that. I'm not too familiar with what Tarantino has done.
I'm looking that up right now. So Tarantino is big advocate for Black Lives Matter.
That's cool.
He's also a big advocate for film preservation. He often actually owns several theaters throughout the country that he tries to support and tries to like
I can believe that.
screen like hidden gems all across the world. He's a big fan of world cinema. He's says here he also supports AIDS and HIV, cancer.
You mean treatments for these diseases? Because like to say he supports a disease is
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just busting your balls.
Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, there is a lot that he's attached to. He often goes to like protests, and he goes to like major events where like
he sounds like an activist.
Yeah.
He sounds very much like an activist. I don't want to make this kind of like about who has donated more money to charity because I feel like because Spielberg is obviously wealthier than Tarantino.
He's wealthier, sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Spielberg has like tons, not just his films that he's directed, but like all the things that he's produced, and I mean, he started his own company, like DreamWorks. You know, him and the two other guys, I forgot their names.
Jeffrey Katzenberg, the disgruntled Disney CEO who thought he owned all their ideas, and that other guy.
I mean, if you look at the two filmmakers' networks, definitely Spielberg wins by a long shot. But like, in terms of like if they're a philanthropist, and
I am looking at a website right now called Look to the Stars. Tarantino is said to be part of 12 causes. Spielberg is part of 16.
So not so much by virtue of how much money they've donated. Spielberg is a part of a little bit more causes.
He's part of 16 charities. Quentin Tarantino is part of 5.
And I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know how much money Spielberg took home of like during production wise of making Schindler's List?
How much? Probably not a lot.
Nothing.
I can totally believe that.
That's really nice.
He took home nothing, which is very commendable and respectable.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's why I harped so much on how important of a film Schindler's List was to him, and I didn't know until you just told me. So that's incredible.
So,
I'm gonna say Spielberg wins this round.
I think Spielberg gets by on this round.
I think Spielberg does get the win, but there is one thing that kind of like makes me kind of frown a bit, and I hate to use this term, but like I just want to say, okay, boomer. His whole views on the fact that like Netflix movies and streaming movies aren't the paving the wave of like cinema. Like he's not being a little bit like in touch with like times have changed, and Roma. I'm just going to use Roma for example because I think this all started when people were really wanting Roma to win, and he was saying like the Academy Awards should not be giving Oscars to movies that are made for streaming services. But I'm just like, are you kidding me? The amount of effort and craft that goes into movies made for home is just as relevant as ones that are going to be made for the cinema.
It really is. Sure. I used to think like he did, but then once you actually get a streaming service and watch the exclusive content, you'll realize like the hidden gems out there. So
boomer. Yeah, so that's one little point. Yeah, that's one little point I'll dock him. But like I think Tarantino's his. I mean, if we're talking just more about like their views on film, like I think like. My God, Tarantino is like a film, like legit film lover. Like he doesn't want like the film negative and like all that to go away. Like he loves the magic of that. Where he hates digital film. He hates digital filmmaking. He just wants things to always be.
I just when you said like he's a lover of film, I pictured him in the body and stance of Anton Ego from Ratatouille. I don't like film. I love it. If I don't love it, I change the channel. That's not at all how. That's my Peter O'Toole impersonation.
Okay, but let's keep going. So don't worry about Tarantino. He's not out of the game yet. There is like a loser bracket, so we may be able to get up there after we're done with the main bracket.
Okay.
Next up, we have Tom Hanks versus Steven Spielberg.
Those two have
Oh.
so many times.
Those guys are like besties.
Yeah, they're best friends.
Alright, so let me just load up the list.
I didn't know this. I found this out recently actually because I was skipping through Crave HBO, but they both Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg are executive producers on Band of Brothers.
I can believe that. They were both in Saving Private Ryan, so well.
Okay.
Spielberg wasn't in it. Spielberg wasn't in it.
Okay. The next is who is the nicest?
This say Tom Hanks is the nicest.
I think it's honestly unanimous. It has to be Tom Hanks.
Yeah, because like Tom. Okay, like when was the last time Tom Hanks said something even remotely like controversial that may? Well, then again, there are a lot of like conservatives who hate him because he picks on Trump and also because. Do you know that in 2020 he was the target of a really nasty conspiracy theory, which for the sake of, time, I'm not going to go into. But if you're conservative or a far right person, you're probably going to not think Tom Hanks is the greatest guy ever. But seriously, he doesn't say anything like controversial or like mean spirited or down. It's not like Spielberg, where Cody, you just dox Spielberg for making a really out of touch with reality comment. Tom Hanks.
Opinion. I wouldn't say it's like all that outwardly negative.
Well, then again, like Tom Hanks, I think what makes Tom Hanks such a gem is that if he's got opinions, like
he keeps them to himself mostly.
Some opinions he keeps to himself, and a lot of but when he talks, he's just such a gem to listen to. I don't understand how you can hate the guy.
He's America's sweetheart.
He really is. So Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Although I have heard really nice things about Steven Spielberg. Like he is like really like chummy and easy to work with.
Yeah, no, like I read an interview, someone for I think Cineplex or Seen It magazine, a Canadian publication. He came to Montreal to do an interview for the BFG premiere, which had its Canadian premiere, and basically Spielberg is just a gem of a guy to talk to, like just to even be with. Like I'd chill with him. I'd invite him over, like to have snacks with him.
Okay. So Tom Hanks is nice. Yeah. Like I mean, I think Rita Wilson's a very lucky woman to be with him.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Okay, so
next up is Denis Villeneuve versus Bonnie Var.
Bonnie.
Oh shit.
Bonnie Var.
Yeah, Bonnie Var.
Bonnie Var. The singing competition.
Are the odds stacked against Mr. Villeneuve?
I don't know. I have not heard his singing voice.
Wait, are you serious? It's like who's the best singer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of these are a little bit biased.
Like
some are.
That's the fun of this.
Yeah, like it's like like. I will say, like, you listen to Bon Iver and you're like, wow, yeah, he has a very distinct falsetto voice and a very distinct baritone voice, and how he has like that range.
He has good range.
But
he's a singer.
And with that singing voice, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. I never watching interviews with Denis Villeneuve. He seems so humble and quiet, and he's fluent in French, and he's definitely trying to speak English as much as possible, even during his interviews. It's not his like first language because he's French Canadian. Give the guy some credit.
Québécois, yeah.
So Bon Iver, you progress.
Yeah, those are pretty. But don't worry, Denis will come back. Next up, Sting versus Jim Carrey.
Okay. I'm very curious to know what the contest will be.
I'm curious too. The biggest net worth.
I'm gonna say.
Oh.
I'm gonna make an educated guess that Sting has the biggest net worth because.
I think so too. Yeah.
He's been around.
Because Sting's been around for longer, and Sting also has like more albums to his name and he's produced more records than Jim Carrey has
Oh, you
made
never
films.
know. Okay, so Sting has a net worth of $400 million.
Okay,
Holy shit!
That's pretty good. That's pretty
and Jim
good.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey has a net worth of $180 million.
Okay, so Sting.
I just looked it up. It said 150, but yeah, definitely Sting is the winner here.
Yeah, man, that just comes with age. I mean, Sting's been in the business since the '70s. Jim kind of started like late '80s.
I'm now just picturing Jim Carrey just robbing the bank as the Mask and stealing money just to keep up with
We're all
Sting.
crazy people. Okay, next up. Oh man, John Candy versus Kurt Cobain.
Oh,
That's tough, man. I don't know.
Let's see what the contest
Let's see what they're gonna do. The best in their field. So John Candy as an actor and Kurt Cobain as a musician.
The best
Comparatively, that's kind of hard to discern, but I kind of get it.
The real tragedy is that both of these guys
Had very well. I don't know. John Candy had a longer career than Kurt Cobain, but at the same time,
I'm gonna go with John Candy. I'm gonna go with John Candy because John Candy set out to be a comedian and an actor, and I find that he has a lot on. Yeah, as you said, longer career, so he has a lot under his belt than Kurt Cobain. But as much as I love Kurt Cobain, he was an amazing poet and a guitar player, and he like paved the wave of like a new genre of rock music that was grunge back then.
yeah.
Sometimes he isn't the best singer.
Yeah, and he's not the most experienced guitarist, and he even admitted that, like, in terms of solos, he kind of just fucks around on his guitar. He's not,
which is fine. Like like he can riff as much as he can, and he's definitely empowered by like this energy of just wanting to vent through
raw energy, sure, but he's not a proficient player.
Yeah, and even I mean, it's kind of sad because he always had doubts about himself and like his craft. So it's kind of like it's kind of it's almost giving it to the points of John Candy just more out of like because he more believed himself. We're getting into such dark territory.
I know it's unfortunate, but like
it
is John Candy. Closer to the end of his life, was doing a lot of dramatic work. He was in the Oliver Stone JFK movie, where he plays like.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in it. He played.
I didn't. I've seen bits and pieces of that movie. I haven't seen it in the whole movie, but yeah.
He played an angry homosexual congressman, or someone within the White House. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the movie, but that was such a role that I wouldn't expect John Candy to pull off. But apparently, he was incredibly good in it.
Was Kevin Bacon in that movie, but he also played someone who was gay?
I don't know. I haven't seen JFK, but yeah, John Candy's in it.
Okay.
John.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Kevin Bacon.
I gotta see it now.
And Kevin Bacon.
Is that 3-hour movie that we?
I think it's pretty long.
Yeah, we were thinking of watching that on election night while the votes came in, but we watched some stuff.
Okay, so yeah, even though it hurts, I will say that John Candy is like a more. Yeah, he had a more professional career and it lasted longer, and he was certainly well respected among his peers. No, that.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. We'll see Kurt again.
Rest in peace, both of you.
Rest in peace, both of you.
Yeah.
Should we let's just get through this entire round and then we'll go to the second leg of the tournament. Next up is Tom Hanks and Bon Iver. Let's see what we get. I was really afraid that Tom Hanks and John Candy would be the nicest competition.
Oh god,
that would be hard.
It would be. I will even say it would be because John Candy. My dad.
They were in Splash together.
Yeah, they were in Splash together.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were brothers.
Yeah.
They were brothers?
Yeah, they were brothers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, in Splash. Yeah.
That's where the girl has autism. No, not the actress has autism.
I believe she's on the. I believe she has Asperger's.
Yeah.
Who?
The actress in Splash.
Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah has Asperger's?
Yeah, she does.
Supposedly, yeah. That's what
Maybe,
Oh, I did not know that. Wow.
maybe I should double check just so we don't get flagged.
Oh, well, wait. She suffers from fear of open spaces.
She was diagnosed as autistic.
Oh, I did not know that.
Okay, so yeah, not necessarily Asperger's, but like she is on the spectrum.
Oh.
Didn't know that either. Nice.
That movie's on Disney Plus if you ever want to watch it, Evan.
Splash.
Yeah,
Cool.
they digitally
Yeah.
altered so you don't see her bum bum.
That's right.
Mm.
Dang.
All right, so out of Tom Hanks and Justin Vernon, who is the smartest of the two?
Oh, I mean, Bonnie Barr, yeah, Justin Vernon, Bonnie Barr is like smart. I mean, to be okay, because these are like two humble people. I know you haven't
Yeah.
seen that much interviews with Justin Vernon. He doesn't really do that much. So even preparing for this podcast, just to kind of refresh my memory about like how much he means to me, like it's kind of hard to find some decent interviews with him because he doesn't do all that much.
I'm looking
But
at both of these people's education to see where they went. Justin Vernon went. He attended Memorial High School, where in his hometown where he still resides, and then
Wisconsin, right?
Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Yeah, and then
Mm.
he attended college at the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire, spending a semester in Ireland, and he majored in religious studies and minored in women's studies.
Okay.
He also said that he was not ready to study music.
Wow.
He formed a band while in college, and
Yeah, that band that later on would break up, and as well as his girlfriend Emma, who broke up with him at the exact same time, which like completely ruined his life, and he like went into isolation and wrote his first album as Bon Iver. So one thing kind of led to the other.
This band has a weird name. It's like D'Armond Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce. Yeah, it's like D'Armond Edison.
What is it with this guy? His name. Okay, I'm trying to see if he graduated though, because if he graduated, then yeah, after the breakup with his girlfriend.
What's Tom Hanks's?
Yeah, it doesn't really say if he graduated or not, or if he like. I assume he got his degree, so like, I guess he went through it all.
Tom Hanks, I would assume, went to like all these amazing acting schools. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. He had the education from California State University and Chabot College. Probably pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, oh, this is kind of cool. He went to a high school called Skyline High School in Oakland, California.
That sounds like
I don't know. That sounds so cool. Skyline High School.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the name.
That's
of it.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. He studied theater. He also. Oh, he was a college dropout.
Oh, okay.
In 2010,
Oh.
he named Hanks one of the top 10 college dropouts.
I knew if Jim Carrey was in this round, yeah, he dropped out as well.
Jim Carrey actually dropped out of high school.
Yeah, he dropped out of high school because he needed to support his family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought you said high school for Tom Hanks. Okay, yeah.
No, sorry. College dropout. That's much.
Oh, okay.
He did have an internship at the local theater festival where he was in Cleveland, Ohio. He had a 3-year experience covering most aspects of theater production, and prompting him to drop out of college. During the same time, he won the Cleveland Critics Circle Award for Best Actor in his performance in Two Gentlemen of Verona. It seemed like he just dropped out of college just to kind of pursue his career in acting because he kind of knew what he wanted to do.
In terms of like smarts,
yeah,
that's kind of a win for me because like if you're so good that you can drop out of school to just go work, then that's the point. That's college fulfilled. Like because the whole point of going to college is to get a degree, to get a job. But if you can skip the degree and go right to the job, then that's pretty competent and smart of him.
Yeah, I'm just more like, yeah, you guys are digging more deeper with that. I'm just kind of looking at it more superficially with like both for Tom Hanks's filmography and then with Justin Vernon's discology. Like, I feel like Justin Vernon has just been progressing in a way, or just been kind of keeping his fame under the radar, where he doesn't want to be as famous, even though he's appeared in like Kanye West songs and just recently
Oh
Taylor
yeah.
Swift songs for that Folklore album that she dropped recently.
Oh okay.
But for Tom Hanks, like I feel like when people talk about Tom Hanks, they're talking more specifically about like the the golden age of his filmography, like the 80s and 90s, like, and maybe a few early 2000s films, but like lately, aside from Captain Phillips, really hasn't been much standout performances from
Yeah.
him.
Well, to be fair, he did play Mr. Rogers in 2019's "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood."
I didn't see that. Is he good in that?
Oh, he's great in that.
Okay.
I do like his range. He's both a comedic and dramatic actor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
full of
Yeah.
variety. Like I know, I agree, Cody. Like lately, his performances have been kind of like more perfectly serviceable. But yeah, he hasn't had like many iconic roles in a while.
He does a lot of biopics with Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like he did Bridge of Spies and he did The Post within the span of like 3 years.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Yeah.
He's pretty good with accents. He's pretty good at learning like heavy amounts of dialogue and carrying scenes on.
I found his accent. I found in Spielberg's The Terminal. I found his accent to be kind of distracting in that movie.
Oh yeah, where he's
Maybe it's
he's from that fictional country.
Gargosia.
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 Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit distracting. Maybe it was just because I knew it was Tom Hanks and it's hard to not hear his actual voice. Which
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and he's like one of the best screamers of all time.
Yeah. Do you know when he was doing when he was doing the voice of Woody, he actually heard his diaphragm screaming the lines that Woody's supposed to scream.
Yeah.
You guys should look up after on YouTube. The you guys have probably seen it, but like when they were testing out like the early stages of the CGI of Woody from the yeah, they used audio from Turner and the Hooch, like not the wrong, you stupid dog.
Oh, you stupid dog!
And
It sounds fuck.
in
Oh, you stupid fuck!
and in Toy Story, there's a line where where Scud's gnawing his leg. It's like, "Go away, you stupid dog! Down!"
Yeah, but I think we're digressing too much. So
Uh,
out of the two,
yeah.
This is a tough question. I don't think I'm gonna say
I'm
like,
kinda leaning to
how do you
Tom.
measure smarts? Like, cause I don't know either of these guys in person.
I don't know, I like present.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice and like give the point to Tom Hanks.
I'm kind of
But
leaning
what if-
towards Tom Hanks.
But what if I
too.
want to actually say, well, if just Bon Iver, like, kind of by staying out of the limelight, some would argue that that's very smart too. So, honorable mention, I guess.
I guess it's 2-3.
Yeah.
2-1. All right.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. Next up, Sting and John Candy.
Oh, we're not
All right.
contests over again, so they're not going to have like a singing contest.
No.
Although, has John Candy ever sung?
Kind of like joke singing, like
Yeah.
just not.
Oh, the
not-
polka, obviously polka.
polka. Sometimes sings out a song. Nothing too serious. Like just kind of like, It's like an average person singing. Just like,
Well, wait, did he sing in Little Shop of Horrors?
Oh yeah, I think he did. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
No, I don't think he did. He was in it. I just don't think he sang. That was Rick Moranis sang in that movie, and I think Steve Martin as well.
Okay. This next one's kind of biased. Out of the two of them, which one is the funniest?
Wait, John Candy and who?
Sting.
John Candy wins hands down.
Easily.
Hands down.
Although I'm going to say this one thing, because Sting wrote a couple songs for The Emperor's New Groove, which is, in my opinion, the funniest hand-drawn Disney film that's ever been made. Sting actually stepped in and had the ending turn out the way it does, because the original ending that the writers came up with was Cusco was going to build his Cuscotopia summer home on the hill next to Pacha's, not on Pacha's. He was gonna still build the giant home, but he was gonna build it on the hill next to Pacha's. But then Sting pointed out, hey, if Cusco went and built a summer home, wouldn't that be a weak arc? Because it means that Cusco didn't really learn much. So Cusco just settles for a little cottage, like no bigger than Pacha's home. So the ending turned out the way it did because of Sting. So Sting influenced one of the greatest comedies of all time, but I wouldn't consider him a funny guy.
I thought
John Candy, on the other hand.
I thought his little bit in B movie was kind of funny.
No, he could be funny when,
I'm sure he's a perfectly personable person. I just think John Candy, who's like a trained comedian, is like leaps and bounds. Like, well, that's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And also just Sting having a sense of humor about himself when he appears in Radio Bart episode.
Yeah, no. That's great.
I think most people typically like that.
But you have to remember, like, these are rarely are Sting wouldn't have ad-libbed any of that because it's it's stuff that writers wrote for him to say, and if he likes it, he'll say something. But he's not like John Candy where like every director is gonna let him ad-lib.
And also, Sting plays the Baron. Oh my God, sorry, the Baron Harkonnen's. The Baron Harkonnen's nephew in the original Dune.
Oh right, yeah, but that's not a funny movie.
All right, so Tom.
Well, he looks funny. He looks funny with his haircut, but whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like he comes out of the steam room and Harkonnen's just kind of drooling at him. So that guy was a weird character. But anyways, next up, Tom Hanks versus John Candy.
Okay.
What's the contest?
Let's see. I want this to be good. Hold on.
You'll remember me.
I've gotten this one 3 times in a row, so fine. Most prestigious.
Most prestigious. Tom Hanks
Hanks has won like back-to-back Oscars for all his work. But that's not to say John Candy isn't
and Golden Globes.
And Golden Globes, yeah. That's not to say John Candy isn't like celebrated within his own country of Canada.
That's true. So
yeah, like he's like an icon in Canada.
Yeah,
here in Canada, I should say.
I guess that falls more into legacy.
But here's the thing, like, if you talk to him, is John Candy kind of like a Tragically Hip situation where if you talk to an American, most Americans won't know who he is?
No, because he did a lot of American
That's true,
with
yeah.
John Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Baseballs.
true.
He graduated in a lot of American productions after working in Canada for some time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's well known in America.
So, okay.
Most prestigious?
For prestigious, I think Tom Hanks easily.
Well, if in the
I think worldwide, a lot of people would know Tom Hanks more than John Candy, and sadly, I don't know if that. And it also has something to do with the fact that like probably newer generations are probably not aware of who John Candy was. Sadly, if they're not watching his old movies,
that is a damn shame.
Yeah, he should not be forgotten.
In terms of like, but like prestigious means like awards and like celebrations. Yeah. So. All right, so Tom.
Oh, I mean, the fact that Tom Hanks won back-to-back for Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, that says something.
It does.
Yeah.
So Tom Hanks is on the top of the winner board right now. Now we're on to
the losers.
The elimination.
The second.
Jeez, I guess if Tom Hanks wins this game, I guess if we ever see him in person, we have to leave him be.
That's true. Yeah.
I just wanted to scuffle my hair.
Tussle my hair, Mr. Hanks.
Tussle my hair,
yeah. Tussle my hair.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain versus Quentin Tarantino.
And the contest is...
Just imagine Kurt Cobain playing the theme for Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Miserloo.
Just in grunge form.
Oh.
Yeah. And just hear him go, ah, ah, ah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I have Kurt Cobain and Quentin Tarantino. Who has the best acting ability?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to say Quentin because...
Oh no.
Well, no. I have to be the contrarian here, and I will argue it. Okay. First of all, Tarantino is not a good actor in any of his movies.
He's really not that good.
He really falls flat, especially. Sorry, what?
A lot of people say he's actually the weakest part of a lot of his own films.
Oh god, especially in Django Unchained. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right.
The
Yeah.
Australian accent.
Where he stands.
That was a terrible. But the fact that Kurt Cobain, I will say this. Kurt Cobain did not want to do the MTV Unplugged Live. He was like so against that because he just doesn't believe in like the commercialism and all that stuff, and he just didn't want to play being more laid back. And if you watch that whole performance, I have it on DVD, the whole live performance. I swear he's acting his way through that to just try to phone it in because he just does not want to be there. But the fact that he actually presents some of the best songs I think I've ever heard, especially from Nirvana, is pretty commendable. So the fact that like he is legit just phoning it in the entire time, but still resonates art, is pretty great.
Yeah, and there's other instances. I remember there was this one televised program that won the play, but they want him to lip sync, and he
no, you'd never tell him to.
He didn't want that at all.
You know what?
But he had to contractually. So he totally farted the performance away. Like he's not even really playing guitar. He's like wearing sunglasses. He's like singing over the mic even though he's not supposed to, and he's singing poorly. Wow. And everyone else is just throwing their instruments
So can
around.
I just agree with the contrarian here and just say, like, you know, Kurt Cobain seems more raw than Tarantino.
He can give in like a really genuine performance, and in a lot of he can be energetic, he can be funny, he can be like kind of sarcastic in a lot of scenarios. Like he's pretty fun to be around, honestly. But like Tarantino, if he's in a spot where he has to act, he just doesn't deliver. Tarantino. He reminds me of David Lynch, and bear with me here. Neither of these two men can act. When I see them on screen, I'm just like, oh, look, it's David Lynch, or oh, look, it's Quentin Tarantino. But they have this weird, strange stage presence where it's like, I still kind of like seeing them on screen. Even though
I mean, you're getting almost like a kick out of your favorite directors in their own movies.
They're in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, look, hey, he's in Twin Peaks, David Lynch. I kind of like it. Even though he screams in every single line he says, he has a particular je ne sais quoi about him, similar to Tarantino. Like I recently watched Desperado, where he delivers this story, and it's his acting is like pretty like amateur all across the board, but like he's still fun to watch. I can tell like it's Tarantino being Tarantino, and it's always fun to watch too. But yeah. I won't say he's a good actor by any stretch, and it's kind of weird because Kurt Cobain never actually acted in any movies or TV shows.
No, but the fact that I think that the only person that's actually made an attempt of acting fails horribly. So I'd rather take someone who hasn't done but actually can perform very well.
It's interesting because like the other members of Nirvana have actually appeared in other movies, like. Chris Novoselic,
that's true.
The bassist was in World's Greatest Dad for like a short cameo, and Dave Grohl was in like Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. He plays the devil on drums.
Oh yeah, wasn't Dave Grohl? He also popped up as himself in the newest Bill and Ted.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen.
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. There is this rumor I like to talk about where he was almost cast as the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction, Lance.
Oh, jeez, thank God he wasn't.
There's so many rumors where he's like the drug, and like Eric Stoltz's character, and Courtney Love would have played his wife, and it's like.
So what you need to do is you need to bring the needle down in the stabbing motion. What you need to do is
bring the needle down in a stabbing motion, and you don't have to do it 3 times. You don't have to do it 3 times. You just gotta bring it down and penetrate her heart. Fucking. Can I have a black marker, please? God, it's like, the fuck's going on around here, Kurt? I mean, Lance. Okay, so I'm just gonna.
I know that you told me to those fucking assholes to never to call here this late, and that's exactly what I'm going to tell this fucking asshole right now.
Okay. So, this Tarantino's a talented guy, but he can't act for shit, and that's why I didn't get this one. Next,
I can now just picture. I can now just picture Tarantino going up to Kurt Cobain, going, "You're fucking my shit up right now.
You're fucking my shit up right now.
Hey,
Don't shimmy me, Kurt. Okay."
Quentin, if you're listening to this,
he's not.
In the 1 in a million chance you're listening to this, don't smirch Kurt's grave, please.
Alright. Okay. Oh, here you go, Cody and Evan. Next up, Denis Villeneuve versus Steven Spielberg.
Oh. One is heavily inspired by the other.
Yeah, okay, I'll say that, yes, you do have the upper hand for that, because Denis has said Spielberg is one of his main influences.
Okay, what's the contest?
The contest is, who has, out of these two directors, the biggest legacy?
Oh my god.
That's so unfair. Okay, I'm going to say, as a Spielberg fanboy, I'm going to say that's unfair. Denis Villeneuve's legacy is in the making.
He's starting out.
Spielberg's legacy is still going. But
okay, yeah.
Spielberg's legacy
is firmly established.
Let's just address this. Okay, obviously Spielberg is going to progress. He's got fucking Raiders, E.T., Jaws, Jurassic Park, all under his belt.
He started the blockbuster craze.
Yeah, and Denis has Arrival.
Well, that's the thing. However, if you take this past decade, the years of like 2010 to 2019, not only has Denis established himself as one of the best directors working today, but if you compare the two, Spielberg had a pretty rough decade.
Yeah, the 2010s were.
Yeah, he wasn't doing his best stuff.
With the exception of Ready Player One, Spielberg cranked out some generic biopic stuff.
I wasn't too big on Ready Player One.
I wouldn't even say Ready Player One's his best work.
I'm not saying it's his best compared to his stuff from the 80s and 90s. God no, but that was kind of a love letter to every other movie he's done. I'm
glad he made it. I mean, no one else probably could have pulled it off, but still.
It's interesting to know that Denis has also you watch if you look at his filmography, everything from Incendies. And then after that, technically it was Prisoners, but Enemy should have came first just because it got pushed because of festivals. But if you go from Incendies to Enemy to Prisoners to Sicario to Arrival to Blade Runner 2049, and then I guess upcoming Dune, it's there's a progression in scale and scope in his movies.
Yeah, I know. And in terms of Canadian filmmakers, he's really making.
I forgot he made Sicario.
Yeah, he made Sicario. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and even before that, I've checked out all of his stuff as well. Even before that, his French Canadian movies Maelstrom and August 32nd on Earth, all really good movies. He's just been solid from the very beginning.
So yeah, that's the thing. We have a rising star, and we have a firmly established guy.
Yeah.
He basically, when you think of directors, the first one you think of is Spielberg. Any other.
Yeah. So he progresses definitely 100%.
But we do deeply respect the work of Denis Villeneuve. Yeah. So definitely check him out.
What if
Au revoir, Villeneuve.
What if by the time we are in our 40s, Denis Villeneuve is the new Spielberg. He's just cranking out all the hit films.
We'll make a retrospective and redact this list.
Yeah.
Oh man, so Spielberg's the last director now.
As once.
I kind of had a feeling he would beat the other two, but okay. Jim Carrey versus Kurt Cobain.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
One's from Seattle, the other one's from Newmarket.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it sure beats raising cattle. Let me just update this so we don't have any. It'd be nice if we had some funnier entries. I do have some funny ones here, but we gotta
Well, for the next bracket tournament, we can go funnier.
Well, yeah, I have some funny entries here. I'm wondering, hey, okay, Jim Carrey or Kurt Cobain, who could consume the most drugs?
Oh my god.
I I'm so sorry, Kurt. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kurt Cobain.
Why? It's like
because isn't it like alleged that he was on drugs when he pulled the shotgun?
I mean, maybe, but yeah, all throughout the last half of his career, he was doing like heroin and like speed.
And also Jim Carrey. He said that before he was taking I think Prozac because he suffered from like depression, but he says he's been off those meds because he just found he says that he doesn't even take like any kind of stimulants, like even coffee. Doesn't do any caffeine, nothing. He's so chill. He's just so calm. So, yeah, Kurt, you were doing heroin. You were doing even if you could say he's just like a stoner grunge guy, whatever, just doing pot. But no, he's done way more hardcore shit than
as evidenced by the fact that one of these guys is alive, the other one isn't. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I'd like to point out is I watched this video, what the fuck happened to Jim Carrey? Part of the WTF happened to like this actor, this director. And the one about Jim Carrey is actually very sad because apparently like Jim Carrey had like an ex-wife or ex-girlfriend who committed suicide and he got blamed by the media for it. So he had to kind of dip out of acting and out of being in the limelight for a while.
Yeah.
And that really sucks because it happened when Jim Carrey was like, still chugging along, making some half-decent comedies. And he kind of got his life fucked over, unjustifiably so.
Yeah, I mean,
and now he's not even he doesn't even advocate movies with violence in it.
Yeah.
Ironic because he plays like an evil weapons designing genius in Sonic the Hedgehog. Dr. Robotnik.
It's okay if it's cartoon violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't care. I didn't really care about that movie because I don't give a shit about Sonic the Hedgehog. But he was the most enjoyable part of that movie.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw. I played quite a few Sonic games when I was in high school. So I'm just gonna say, in terms of how it could have turned out, I'm so glad it didn't turn out how I thought it was gonna turn out. It was better than I thought it was gonna be, and as a video game adaptation on film, it's pretty solid.
How about that original design, eh?
Oh God!
Someone was on drugs.
Well, like no, no. I can picture the brainstorming session where they designed that render that we saw in the early trailer. It's like, hey guys,
they're like,
let's make Sonic quasi-realistic. Okay, but won't that like alienate the gamers? The gamers are gonna migrate to the movie just so Sonic's in it, and then the gamers see the trailer is like. First of all, this doesn't look a fucking thing like Sonic. It doesn't match Sonic's personality at all. And second of all, Gangster's Paradise has nothing to do with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's just more like a retro kind of like thing because that was like early '90s video game, and that's an early '90s song, so
yeah,
it's okay.
Well, I mean, like, when I think of Sonic, I think of, like, Lyle, help me out with the genre. You're more well-versed in music. I think of not grunge rock, but alternative rock. I think of alternative rock sped up really fast.
Oh, so punk?
I think, yeah, when I think of Sonic, I think of punk.
The second trailer had Ramones. So.
Yeah, I know. When I think of Sonic, I think of punk. Yeah. Alternative.
So it's like imagine the trailer starts and you just hear, "Do you have the time?"
That's the kind of Cody. That's the kind of music I think of when I think of Sonic.
Yeah.
We digress way too much. But...
Basically.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever like looked into Kurt's like basement tapes or like the stuff that his wife was recording at the time. I remember seeing this one video of him like puking into a bucket after taking a douse of heroin. And, like, he was just laughing while, like, covered in vomit. And Courtney was like, "Yo, you good?" And he's like, "I am now." Because, like,
that documentary montage of Heck was pretty hard to get through.
Heck, yeah. But, like, the reason why he did drugs that were heavier than normal was because he was suffering, like, intense stomach pain. Throughout most of his life, actually. You can hear that in his voice. Like, he said he often got a lot of his vocal power from taking it out of his stomach.
Okay.
And, yeah... Apparently, like, he thought heroin was, like, the main way he could, like, subside the pain. but that's what heroin does. It kind of makes you, it elates you. It does a heavy toll. It takes a heavy toll on your body, so it probably wasn't helping things. Yeah.
So sadly, he does get the advantage in this round.
Yeah, because he did consume more drugs than Jim Carrey. That's a well-known fact.
If only it was like somebody like, Seth Rogen and Jim Carrey. It's like, well, obviously Seth Rogen would progress because he's like, he embraces the stoner,
Yeah, but I don't think he's done heavier stuff like what Kurt did. But yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely takes it in stride. So next up, Sting versus Steven Spielberg. Who is the best with kids?
Well, Sting, like I said earlier, Sting wrote songs for The Emperor's New Groove, which is a children's film. Steven Spielberg is a grandfather, and he has worked with kids on his sets many times, to the point where another nasty conspiracy theory about him was started not too long ago. But I digress. So
that took a dark turn. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's very good with kid actors, I will say.
He really is. Well, have either of you heard the story of how the kid who played Elliot in E.T. got the role?
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
Yeah.
Part because the kid basically got into the emotion of what his reaction was when his dog died or something, and he.
Oh no! It goes like this. They brought in Henry Thomas, and the casting director, Spielberg, said, okay, so Henry, what we're going to do is play out a scene where we're going to play a government person who's part of the government, and we're going to come in and we're going to take your friend away. And Henry Thomas just breaks down crying, saying, like, you can't take him away. He's mine. I don't care what the government says. He's my friend. And then, like, there was a pause, and you can literally hear Spielberg, like, you can watch this tape, and Spielberg off camera is like, Henry, you got the part. And
yeah,
I just laughed. They're like no other like choices, no like contenders. It's like bang on. You are the kid.
Yeah, I love when
he was. Yeah,
that he really was. But Spielberg has worked with other kids like in his movies too, like with in War of the Worlds, which I just showed Lyle the first time this year. Dakota Fanning is really good in that.
Yeah. She was in a pretty high part of her career, which she could just like take on any roles.
I think Mr. Spielberg definitely progresses again.
Yeah. Jeez, is this gonna be a Spielberg versus Hanks? That's where it's headed.
It's gonna be a rematch.
Oh God.
What can I say? He's done a lot with himself. Next up. Cody, here we go. Battle here. Bon Iver. Fuck, I'm never gonna say his name right.
Bon Iver.
It is pronounced Bon Iver.
Bon Iver, kind of like good winter in French. Bon Iver.
Yeah. Yes. That's where he derives it from. Yeah.
Bon Iver. Okay, I will try to do better. I am sorry. I could just.
You just lost a lot of subscribers, and all of them were hipsters.
I'll just call him Justin Vernon. Yeah. Justin.
Why did we put Bon Iver's name in brackets, but not Sting next to Gordon Sumner?
I don't know. Everyone knows who Sting is.
Fair enough.
Justin Vernon is like his actual name. Bon Iver is like, I think that's just the name of his band and what he's known best as.
Yeah.
Well, no, Bon Iver is just like his stage name. Like it's his. Like it's his project, it's his work. It's just he has band members that help him out, but it's him that writes and produces the songs. But he goes by Bon Iver.
Bon Iver.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bon Iver against Kurt Cobain.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see who we get here. Hey guys, this one's funny. Who would win in a foot race?
A foot race?
Who would win?
Like a race on foot.
Like you had to get one point to another and race down like I don't know 100 feet.
Can I be honest? I feel like Bon Iver is going to beat Kurt Cobain just because Kurt Cobain's physicality did not seem up to snuff when he was alive.
It wasn't that healthy.
Yeah, and I do have some proof of that as well to back up Bon Iver because he said that in high school. he played football and basketball, so he is kind of more athletic. And
he's an athletic guy. Okay.
Yeah.
This is pretty cut and dry. Kurt Cobain wasn't the healthiest guy on the planet throughout most of his life, and like if Bon Iver is like a fit, athletic kind. He looks like a healthy guy too.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty.
He's lost a lot of hair throughout his career, but if you look up photos, he.
Okay. All right, we're on the second last here. Well, technically, yes, but like we'll soon see who gets to rise to the top and beat Hanks.
Yeah.
To be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's
basically the best around.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. So it's Bon Iver versus Spielberg, and the contest is
who would win in a fist fight?
I'm gonna wait. Are we talking Spielberg from the '70s versus Bon Iver today?
I don't know. Like when I think John Candy and Kurt Cobain, I think of it like just before.
Bon Iver and Kurt. It's Bon Iver.
Like I think of them at the kind of where they are now or how they were before they left. You know.
I'm gonna say Bon Iver would beat Spielberg's ass because Spielberg's an old guy. Spielberg wouldn't. I feel like Spielberg would run away from a fight.
Yeah, but he's a non-confrontational guy. If it was Tarantino, I'd have more of a thing to say about it.
Yeah.
He'd be whipping your ass up in the street. But Spielberg, on the other hand, is like a little bit more like gentle and like kindred, and he's an elderly guy. Bon Iver is like way younger and way more like if he's in foot.
But the thing is, Bon Iver is so humble too. He just doesn't seem like the type that would pick a fight as well.
I know. Like, what's this gonna be? Is he just gonna? Are they just gonna kind of like gently shove each other? Like, well, yeah. Oh, I fell over. Bon Iver, you technically win. I mean, I don't have.
Well, here's the thing.
I could
if this actually would happen, because of how much lawyers and clout and power Spielberg has on Bon Iver,
then
he would
lose the battle but win the war. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think so.
That's such a different way of looking at it. Oh my god. So yeah.
And in that respect, I think that even though it would seem like Spielberg because I could see Spielberg having a little bit of a temper. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of like
his job is stressful. I'm sure there are moments where he kind of snaps. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And if like Bon Iver had to like beat the shit out of him, my God, it would destroy the reputation. I mean, both their reputations would kind of be like I don't even know if I would say on the line, but like yeah, definitely Bon Iver would win the fight, but Spielberg would win the war ultimately.
So I guess because I didn't even think of that because the aftermath would be like, well, Bon Iver's gone. Who? What? Whatever. Yeah. Some indie guy. Meanwhile, the biggest director of all time has been assaulted by this artist.
By some.
And he's getting
a rock star.
He's getting like.
This isn't like a rocky underdog story for Bon Iver. He's not going to be rising to the top. Like I think Spielberg will definitely.
Can you imagine if like?
I didn't even think of that.
Because you know how like on YouTube there is like actual YouTubers challenging each other to like boxing matches and wrestling matches. Jake Paul.
Uwe Boll.
Oh god. Well,
oh god.
Paul isn't a YouTuber.
He is now. He has a YouTube.
They're all a bunch of losers. Fuck them.
No, but like Jake Paul like will challenge random people and random celebrities to fight, and now you're making me.
I know. All I know who Logan Paul is because he was that asshole that like filmed a dead body, and it was like, isn't it so cool that we're filming a dead body?
Oh man, guys! Oh man, this is so intense.
How fucking sad is it where I can't even tell Logan and Jake apart?
I mean, yeah,
they're interchangeable.
Yeah,
I'm kind of confused too.
Yeah,
I didn't even know who he was until that, and then I'm just like, man, you just like made your reputation worse for some people. It's
but I digress. So like. This is interesting. I think in that regard, technically Justin could beat Steven, but ultimately Steven would have the upper hand because, like, yeah, he's so powerful.
Yeah, he destroyed Justin.
Exactly.
Like, you don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
So does that mean really Steven Spielberg would win?
Yeah.
Just
Steven Spielberg moves on.
Because, like, that's kind of... I think maybe we're thinking about that a little too hard, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think it's right. Okay. Oh, this is kind of nice. John Candy versus Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
After surviving Bon Iver, Spielberg has come to get a piece of candy. Oh, shit. They both engage in a drinking contest.
Oh, Lord. I'm gonna have to say John Candy.
John Candy.
John Candy would win because John Candy can stomach more.
Yeah, because, well, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Spielberg would probably pass out after.
No, literally, there's this scene in Splash where John Candy and Tom Hanks are, like, at a bar. And Tom Hanks is wasted out of he's drunk off his gourd. He's sleeping in a pile of, like, peanut shells. And John Candy's like, the reason, it's all about body mass. And the reason why you get drunk so fast is you're just too damn skinny.
So I take it this is no contest.
Pretty much. John
Candy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Yeah.
John Candy is a big guy. There's a lot to love, and he can easily take his share of the sketch. So that means Tom Hanks and John Candy are gonna have a rematch.
Okay then.
The two nicest guys in Hollywood of all time are gonna, like, match up together. I'm actually looking forward to this. Okay. And we got some good polls here. So the two of them. Who is the most talkative?
Probably John Candy, I'm gonna say.
He does have that demeanor about him. Every time I see him in polls, he's always, like, chittering away. And it's not, like, rambly. I mean, like, Del Griffin. I don't know if it's Griffin or Griffith. I think it's Griffin. He's very rambly, but it's not like I want him to shut up all the time. I do kind of like some of his, like, anecdotes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably give this one to Candy. But if he wins this battle, this just means that there's going to be a rematch. So we will have another Tom and John. So yeah, in this regard, I think John Candy. Because Tom Hanks he always plays, like, characters that are, like, you know, accommodating, you know, nice.
They're more. He plays performances that are a lot more reserved than John Candy. And John Candy, yeah, he seems like he's more of the talkative type, and he's especially in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh my God, he never stops talking in that movie. I think the only person who could actually win in this regard, like in that one, would be Quentin Tarantino. That guy's never.
Oh God, he's a blabbermouth.
He never stops talking. So that's.
I've seen all the Charlie Rose interviews with when Tarantino came onto his show, and man, does he not shut the fuck up.
No, sometimes. Okay,
I mean, it's fine. It's fine for me because he's such a film like aficionado and will ramble about everything.
Yeah,
you can just tell that. You could, yeah, exactly. But you could just tell, like, Charlie Rose is trying to, like, keep on topic, and he's trying to, like, keep up because of, like, he could tell, like, I don't know who this director is or who these actors are, man. Just fucking shut up.
Yeah. Tarantino will run that regard. Okay, so I'm not going to have the randomizer pick this one. I'm going to pick this one as the last because I think it's the one that I really think would be the most equal on both hands.
Okay.
Who has the most personality?
Oh God.
Wait, who is it? Sorry.
It's a rematch. Tom Hanks and John Candy. Out of the two of them, who has the most personality?
Oh God.
This isn't okay. Well, I don't mean to be like the cynic here, but Tom Hanks has had the luxury of living longer due to circumstances that beyond control. So
did you know that because of what he did to his body for Castaway of like losing weight and adding muscle and all that, he later on became a diabetic?
I believe it. Yeah.
I did.
I didn't know that was the factor.
I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know his like family history or anything like that, but like he believes that like a big factor in that was like all that weight, just all that mass lost in your body is not that great for you, but like. Yeah, he later on became like a diabetic, like I think shortly after he did like Captain Phillips actually, so it took a while.
I remember I was on set one day and a buddy of mine was like talking about John Candy and like how his dad was like a tailor for him, and like because he like near like he passed away because of a heart condition because he was obese. And like the tailor was telling him, you've been gaining quite a few inches lately. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just drinking. I'm just eating. I'm not really giving a care of the world anymore. And then, like, yeah, it was just kind of a shame because I think he did try to lose weight, but like he was just built big. It was the way he always was. So, and his family's so it's just something that couldn't be helped. Unfortunately,
we're looking at personality.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a wonderful
I know,
personality.
just like compared to what like Tom Hanks through. So, yeah, in terms of personality, this is really hard because both of these people are some of the nicest people I've ever seen on screen. Tom Hanks is like such an affable guy. Everyone likes him. I don't think that too many people have too many things to say against him. But John Candy, like every time I get such like a warmth out of John Candy that I don't get out of a lot of actors. It's why I miss him so much, to be honest.
Okay, here's an interesting question that we can probably come up with a winner.
A deciding factor. Okay.
Out of all the films that they've done, could you pinpoint a performance where they were assholes? Where you can kind of detract them, where you're like, because like,
wasn't there?
If we're looking at the person themselves, yeah, this is a toss-up because, as you said, they're both humble, wonderful human beings.
It's one thing to play an asshole than it is to actually be an asshole.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to
the range.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to manifest. I'm trying to think of the idea like if you would all of a sudden hang out with one of these people, and you're getting to know them, and they are the heroes that like you always perceive them as, and it's like that careful what you wish for, like don't meet your heroes kind of thing. If they all of a sudden just transformed into one of their performances in one of their movies, but they were like a jerk in that movie, like which for instance, if you met Tom Hanks and he started off nice and then he all of a sudden started acting like his performance in A League of Their Own.
Oh yeah,
just
in baseball.
Exactly, yeah, just like a fucking jerk to everybody. And there's also I don't know what movie it is, but like there's a movie with John Candy where he says the most like insulting thing to somebody who had like a zit on their face.
Oh yeah, that was Uncle Buck. It was like
Uncle Buck, yes.
Uncle Buck.
I've seen that movie.
The scenario was it was like his niece's school. And the principal was like this really nasty hag of a woman who was just saying, I don't think she takes anything seriously at all. John Kennedy's like, 6. And then like basically the principal says all these horrible things about his own niece. And then John Kennedy just stands up and he's like, lady, I think you're a horrible person, horrible to every degree, and I wish I had a penny. And he gives her a dime. Here's to pay a rat to gnaw that thing off your face.
Wow.
And then triumphant music. And then he just shakes his hand in victory because he called her off.
So there we go. So now we have kind of two similar situations. And for me personally, I would lean to more hanging out with Hanks because at least like he's being a lovable asshole.
Yeah, but so
this is so.
This is ridiculous.
They're both lovable
assholes. Like John Candy was like always like hanging around in bars and drinking down and just having.
What was that movie where like? There was a movie that Tom Hanks did when he was a lot younger, where he's actually like quite a dick, and apparently Tom Hanks couldn't be.
Are you talking about Money Pit?
Money Pit, where he like goes on a screaming fit. This is when he was younger.
Screaming fit.
Well, apparently
he did that a lot in his earlier films. He did that. That in fucking.
Oh, The Burbs.
In Hooch, he kind of does that.
Also,
Big,
The Burbs.
He has a jerk in Big too.
Also,
when he's, like, adjusting adulthood.
In Toy Story,
Woody could have been in Toy
Woody
Story.
almost. Do you know Disney
Woody was almost the worst.
Disney almost shut Toy Story down as a production because Woody was too mean.
Yeah, but
Woody was an asshole.
Yeah. No,
Woody was trying to. Woody was trying to keep Buzz around the whole movie just so he can like clear his ass at the end.
But
like,
you know, even in the finished movie, Woody is still a dick.
Yeah, like
but Woody gets better, especially like in the second movie.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
Well, even Tom Hanks though stated that I don't really like this guy. He's kind of a douche. Well, you probably didn't say that.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is so hard. I can't pick between the one. You know what?
Can we just get a coin toss going?
Well, like I'll lean into one. I will pick John Candy because he's a Canadian icon. I would have loved to have met him in person. Tom Hanks, if I tried to meet him, I think security would just shoo me away. But I feel like John Candy would be like, "Oh, hey there, thank you."
Well, let's say like you're ever on a panel at TIFF or something, and Tom Hanks is hosting it, or he's on the panel, and you get to talk to him.
I would shit my pants, but yeah, I could see that happening. Too. I mean, I don't know what I'd say to him exactly. But yeah, I'm sure.
I'll vote for Tom Hanks, but I'll let you guys.
Okay, so Cody votes Tom Hanks. I vote John Candy. Evan, you're the mediator.
I have
in this situation.
A fucking deadlock.
Yes.
Who has the most personality? Well, I mean, like, you know, John Candy is the type of guy who could like light up a whole room, and I honestly feel like if I give this to Tom Hanks, like he'd just be. Like, it would be cliche. Like, I kind of want to go the hipster route and say, you know, John Candy, because John Candy, like, my dad only met him once, and he actually said that, you know, John Candy was one of the friendliest people he ever met. Like, John Candy could light up a room with his smile. So
that's amazing.
Or towards John Candy, quite honestly. Even though I love Tom Hanks and always will love Tom Hanks.
Yeah, they're both incredibly nice people. Like I would be honored to be in the presence of either of them.
Yeah.
But I would just go John Candy. All right. Well, that was an intense round, honestly. That
was intense.
A lot of blood was bled, and a lot of speed was sped.
But we had some we had some candy, and we had some candy.
Yeah, thanks, Tom Hanks. But
no, you mean Hanks. T. Hanks.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Like, if you put Tom Hanks's initials, like T. Hanks, thanks, like that
how lucky?
I don't know why that just adds something to his personality. I know that's so
thanks,
but it just adds.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, T. Hanks, thanks.
When he writes social media posts on Instagram, do you know he ends all of them with HANX, Hanks, as in like that's his way of saying thanks.
Oh my god.
So cheesy and lovable.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Man, but I swear to God, I still wish John Candy was around these days. Sometimes I think of like people like Robin Williams or like John Candy, where it's like I really just love watching them or seeing them in interviews.
Oh jeez, I took Robin Williams' death so hard.
He was
like
that was probably to put him on here too.
That was honestly, oh yeah, me too. There's not really like. It's more like when you hear about a celebrity death, you're like, oh, that's really unfortunate. When Robin Williams died later on that night, I just kind of sobbed to myself because I felt like, wow, a bit of my childhood just died.
Yeah. It did feel that way, quite honestly. Like, and the only two times I've ever cried over a celebrity death were Robin Williams and Carrie Fisher.
Mine were.
Oh, I was kind of devastated, definitely, about Carrie Fisher, but I don't know, something about Robin Williams, just because there's a lot of history with him, like his movies and his stand-up later on, like, oh my god, the best.
Well, I mean, because, I think Robin Williams cut deep with a lot of people. It also jump-started the conversation about depression and understanding people with depression again.
Sometimes it's the happy
people.
And because Robin Williams, like, you feel like if you were talking to him, like, he'd be really nice at first, but then, like, if you got into a deep conversation with him, he'd start, you know, crying because of how unhappy he is, which is really
it's
about.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
But Robin Williams is one of those celebrity deaths where I can remember exactly where I was when I heard the news. So yeah, it also, like, his death affected me the way Kobe Bryant's death affected a lot of my friends who were into sports.
Oh yeah. A lot of people took Kobe Bryant's death hard. That's sad. I'm not too familiar with him. I'm just not that big into basketball.
Yeah,
but
I don't think any of us are really hardcore sports guys.
Yeah, well,
otherwise, we would have maybe picked an athlete for this.
that is true. Yeah.
My good buddy Brandon is a huge Raptors fan, and when he's a huge basketball fan in general. When he heard that Kobe died, like you could he was so upset. My friend Brandon can go off into these like not fits, but like these personality modes where it's like do not talk to him like for an hour or more until he's calmed down because like Kobe Bryant's death cut him deep. And Kobe Bryant's death, just like Robin Williams, it was out of nowhere. Like Kobe wasn't sick with anything. Like he just was in a helicopter crash. It was a freak accident, but it tore.
I think maybe a basketball hero of mine would be Michael Jordan. Just for one reason.
Big contender.
Just for one reason alone. If you guys want to take a wild guess.
Space Jam.
Yeah.
we brought.
He's not even good at Space Jam.
Cody, and to our audience, we're gonna recommend a video. Lyle and I like to listen to The Amazing Atheist and his podcast that he does with Paul Zygo and his brother Scotty.
We're pretty heavily inspired.
Deep Fat Fried. TJ Kirk on his solo YouTube channel, The Amazing Atheist, did the funniest review of Space Jam I've ever seen. Check it out.
Oh, I gotta see this. I gotta check this out now.
He hates Space Jam. Like, honestly, I agree with. I still kind of enjoy Space Jam, like as a '90s gem. It's one of those movies.
Oh yeah, me too. It's pure like '90s trash, but yeah.
But here's the thing, like Air Jordans and Looney Tunes, like that was a '90s kids, diet,
Yeah.
But so, anyways,
would we be interested in doing an episode about celebrities who passed on too soon?
What's really sad,
like
what's really sad?
What's so sad, Evan?
When I re-listened to So to Speak episodes from the better part of 2020 that we've been doing this show, a lot of the times we mention celebrities, it's often followed by "May they rest in peace," and we've talked about a lot of celebrities who have very sadly passed on. So
it's a fact of life.
Yeah,
it's a fact of life. But I feel like if we just dedicated like an episode to celebrities who were taken too soon, that might be worth a shot, actually.
Yeah, sure. Put it in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Thanks again, Cody.
Thanks for listening.
And have a good night, everyone.
Once again, we're all good things ahead.
For sure.
Thanks, guys, for having me. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure.